Hello, beautiful community. How are you? Whew, it's really funny. Just as I jumped on and went to hit live on my building, there's men scaling down the building, cleaning the balustrading, which is kind of fun. So if I kind of look away at any point today, it's probably to, yeah, check out some men that obviously aren't afraid of heights. So today I am going to be talking about our inner children, our inner child. Little me, little you, little Jen, her, the child that lives in all of us. And the reason that I wanted to talk about this is that I didn't want to talk about it. I didn't actually want to talk about this, and I recognized a part of me that didn't actually want to do that, and it's the very part of me that I met during an exercise yesterday, which I'm going to tell you all about. So if you are jumping on and joining me live, please hit the heart button, or just a hello or a thumbs up, or where you're dropping in from. That would be amazing. If you catch the replay, just comment replay so that I know. It's always lovely to know who's had an opportunity to take in the wisdom, who it's resonated with, who it hasn't resonated with. It's all good information to know. So I'm going to begin by first of all, let me just start here by talking about what does it even mean, your inner child? What does that even mean? So what I'm sharing with you today is my understanding of what it is. There are many, many schools of thought around inner child work and inner child healing. There's whole psychology courses and modules on this. And what I'm sharing with you today has been through my own experience with this part of me. And it didn't necessarily come in one big kind of thing. It happened over time during different experiences and unpacking different stories and beliefs and memories, and noticing even, what are my current behaviors? What are my current patterns? What are the things that I do now, and where did they come from? So that's what I want to dive in today. So I can see if you are jumping on, just give me a hi or a heart or something, even if you can't stay for the whole thing. And so that's what I want to share with you today. Just like any relationship, developing a relationship with your inner child is something that you will build over time as well. And like a real life relationship, sometimes even when you meet someone that you click with instantly, there's still that relationship build. There's still that deepening, that developing trust, that getting to know you phase of the relationship, and that is essentially what the inner child, for me, the inner child process is all about, is getting to know that part of you. And so yesterday I was so incredibly blessed and fortunate to be at a women's circle facilitated by a beautiful, beautiful woman who we've journeyed together with. And if anyone is watching this and you are on the Sunshine Coast and you feel that this, you might like to join in on such a beautiful face-to-face women's circle experience. There were women in the circle yesterday that had never sat in circle before. There were women that had sat in circle many times. And the facilitator, having a beautiful facilitator to hold that space is really key. And My beautiful friend Jade held a beautiful circle yesterday, and she will be holding another one, I think, at the end of November. So if this calls to you and you would like for me to connect you with Jade, and this will only be if you're on the Sunshine Coast and you want to attend the Women's Circle, just shoot me a message and I can connect you guys up. So we were sitting in Women's Circle yesterday, and we did lots of different things, but one of the things that we did was to connect to our little girl. And the way we did that was by first connecting to a favourite childhood photo. So I've shared one of my favourite childhood photos in the post for this, or you would have seen it in the group somewhere. If you're listening to this in the email, you will see it in the email. And by connecting with that part of you, there is an opportunity for you to kind of transport yourself back in time to that very moment, and to feel what you felt, to hear what you heard, to see what you saw, as you know, as if caught in that snapshot in time. And so that's what we did yesterday. Now, as I said, having done that, there's also this journey that I've been on, connecting intimately to this version of myself. And a lot of that has come through, as I said, unpacking memories, looking at behaviours, looking at beliefs, looking at things that aren't working in my life right now, and looking at ways in which I might sabotage my life or procrastinate, all of those things that can keep us in that energetic loop, right? That loop of, why does this keep happening? So I didn't really want to, when I woke up this morning and I was thinking about coming on and doing this today, a part of me was like, yeah, let your inner child speak, and let her share the exchange that you had yesterday. And what I could notice was there was this part of me that didn't want to do that. And the irony in that is that that's the part of me that that my inner child is asking me to let go of, right? So let me just break that open a little bit for you. So as we grow, quite often things happen during our childhood. Now, these are not necessarily traumatic things. If you haven't checked out the last week's episode where I unpack my 3 big takeaways from the wisdom of trauma, I highly recommend you do that. But this is an opportunity to connect to a moment in time where we may have made an experience mean something about us, about someone else. And quite often when we make something mean something, we're either trying to move towards more love, or we're trying to move away from pain. So, for example, I'll give you an example. So, for me as a little girl, and I've shared this story many, many times, up until I was about 5 years of age, and this generally happens around about 5 to 7 years of age, we as little kids are just busy going about life being 5 years old brilliantly, right? Not brilliant 5-year-olds, just being 5 years old brilliantly. And we're generally just doing the thing that that is our soul mission, or our heart service, or the thing that we are just, it's our dharma, it's just what we're good at. It's our soul on show, pretty much. And then sometimes something can happen, and the child will experience some kind of, whoa, that's not what usually happens when my soul's shining outwardly to the world, and it can feel, hi beautiful Michelle, and it can feel quite uncomfortable. And so the child will make up a story that they have to do something in particular to get more love, or they have to do less of something to experience less pain. And sometimes those stories do collapse in on each other. So I don't want to, I'm not here to go down the psychology rabbit hole of what that is, but just to open up that thought process for you to start to think about, and if you have a favorite memory as a child, or you have, and for example, one of my favorite memories as a child that I used to share as my party joke was actually something that contributed to creating and forming the identity that I became as an adult. Now, so when I say, think back to a memory, even sometimes it can just be your earliest memory as a child. What were you good at? What did you love? What did your parents applaud you for? And for example, that doesn't always necessarily mean, that you were some sort of prodigy. You may have been applauded for being quiet, right? Your parent, and so just think about that metaphor, as a metaphor, being applauded for sitting down and not speaking, right? So you may become connected to the belief that, what I get love for is saying nothing. And so you may go through your life where you don't speak up. And so life then kind of happens to you versus you being the co-creator of your life. For me, one of the things that I got love meaning attention, familiarity, safety, whatever it could be, for being brilliant, smart, clever, good at stuff. And so my life obviously has gone on to be, for up until I became, conscious of this and connected to my inner child, and a string of just being this overachiever, just achieving. Sometimes just like Tarzan, just swinging from one achievement to the other, right? Because it was never about going anywhere. It was the love that I felt deep down inside of me for the achieving, because that was familiar to what life was like for me as a child. Now, I also made up that reality as a child as well. Children are really good at that. We're really good at making up our own, imaginations and imaginings about what stuff means. And none of this is right or wrong, okay? None of it's right or wrong. It's just observing. This is all about just observing and noticing and witnessing parts of yourself, which sometimes can just mean just taking a step back or doing the kind of exercise that we did yesterday, that, to be honest, my inner child just kind of took over and did it in her own way, which kind of circled around to the ending exercise, which matched up to this kind of unconscious thing that I did in the first part, which is quite bizarre. So today I didn't want to come on here and talk about this because I have this, this adult persona that tries to overshadow the child, the inner child, of needing to be brilliant about this topic. And to be honest, I'm not brilliant about this topic. I'm not brilliant about a lot of stuff. So I made a promise to my inner child yesterday that I would hold her hand as we move through life, and that I would probably stuff that up sometimes, but I would try and be conscious to hold her hand as I move through what I do. And so this morning when I woke up and I could feel this, no, you can't really talk about that, you don't really know enough about inner child work, even though I've done so much of it on myself and the people I work with. But I had this, you haven't got your bullet points sorted, doesn't flow, none of this is going to flow. And I'm like, you know what, that's exactly why I need to jump on and do this. Because I promised her that I would hold her hand and that we could just be our, just be in our brilliance without having to be brilliant. Yeah, I hope this is making sense. So what I did yesterday, and I'm not much of a journaler. I like to do a lot of different modalities, sitting in stillness, meditating and things like that. But I'm not much of a journaler. But yesterday, what flowed through me felt really channeled. And I'm not a channeler either. I don't even know what that means. Anyway, that's what I've just said. I kind of really channeled this voice of my inner child, and it felt so beautiful and so flowy that I feel like that's why she wants me to share this with you today, so that you, if anyone's watching this might actually help you to connect to that part of you as well. So I would just recommend, doing what I did yesterday, which is, how our beautiful Jade guided us into this beautiful practice. If you can find an old photo of yourself, start with that, a photo of you when you're a kid, and tune into her. Go be with her. Transport yourself visually back to the moment that photo was taken. And if you could speak to her, ask her, what is she thinking? What is she feeling? What is she seeing? What is she hearing? It doesn't always play out like a movie. Sometimes it can be a feeling. There might just be a feeling there that you can explore with her. And once you've done that, then, and I think this letter writing for me partly came through the work I did with Elizabeth Gilbert. Sounds like a shameless name drop there. We're not besties or anything, but I went to her workshop. I went to her workshop in America a few years ago, and she was talking about about this. So anywho, so she helped us during that, when we did our writers' workshop, to write letters to different parts of ourselves. And that was the process that I used when this channeled through me. So the first part of what I'm going to share with you is what just channeled through me. The second part was the actual exercise that we did inside the circle. But again, this beautiful little 5-year-old version of me wants you to know both parts. So I'm just sharing both parts with you. So I'm going to read you my 2 letters. They're not super, super long, but it feels to her, like my little girl, that she just seems to know that someone's going to get something from me reading this. And it feels very vulnerable for me, and it feels very exposing in terms of this identity that I have of needing to be good at stuff, an achiever, right? Brilliant, and allowing the vulnerable side of that to come through. So, and just so you know, I feel like everything I'm saying today is just gobbledygook. Like, I feel like nothing is really coming through, and yet I can feel her just encouraging me to keep going. So I'm just going to keep going with this. So this is how, when we sat down to do this part of this exercise, it wasn't, this isn't what we were guided to do. But this is what I was guided to do. And I feel like it came from my inner child. And it was like she wanted to speak to me, like she wanted to write me a letter. So I just let my pencil, it's written in pencil, just do its thing. And as I said, this isn't a natural process for me. So it did feel very channeled. So it started like this, and you could do this too. In fact, she's inviting anyone who watches this to do this too, so that you can connect with your little girl. Yeah. So it started like this. Hi, Jen. It's little Jen here. And I want to tell you some things about me that you may have forgotten. She goes on to say, I am smart. Not because I did anything special, just because I am. This is 5-year-old me speaking now. And while we're on that topic, people don't love me because I'm smart. They love me because I'm me. Actually, I could be not smart and no one would care. They'd still be like, oh, we think you're awesome. Because they see me. They see my eyes. They see my skin. They see my hands, my face, my feet. They hear me laugh and they hear me cry. They see me get angry and upset. They see me selfish and kind. They see me smart and also not know heaps of stuff. They just see me, all of me. And they love it all. So you see, there's nothing you need to do. There's nothing you need to be. You can just breathe. And that's enough. As you've gotten bigger, remember this is my 5-year-old kind of, she's talking to me. As you've gotten bigger, you've confused people's reactions with who you are, who we are. I want you to know we're all of it. Whatever they think, we are that. Whatever they don't think, we are that too. Isn't that cool? So can we stop now? Can we stop trying so hard all the time? Can we just be? Can we just open our hearts and breathe? Let me shine through. Let me be all of it. Let me be all of us. I love us. And it's just signed Little Jen. So that's what my 5-year-old wanted to tell me yesterday. And it just felt really, really channeled. And I've read it a few times, many times actually since. And I can literally see her speaking to me from that photo. Yeah. Her eyes just staring at me and speaking in a really childlike way. You know, especially when she said, whatever they think, we are that. And whatever they don't think, we are that too. Yeah. Which just, for me yesterday just brought some real peace into, and by peace I mean breathing room into knowing it's safe to be brilliant and not brilliant, to be smart and not smart. Yeah, to be all, to achieve and not achieve. Yeah. And so the second part, and I just got to share with you right now, there's this part of me right now that wants to just delete this live as soon as it's finished. So that's how, for me, that's how I know that an identity that I believe is who I am is crumbling. because she feels scared. She feels exposed. And so I share that because if you do this exercise for yourself, you may experience, like it's hard to breathe as you go through this. And just make space for that. Yeah. So the exercise that we did in our circle yesterday, which I did differently for the first part, which I've just read you, again, so synchronistic that I had no idea that the second part of this exercise was that we were going to write to our inner child. Now, that was pretty huge for me, given that I just had done this instinctive, channel, download, upload, whatever, of hearing my, little Jen tell me some stuff she wanted me to know. And so now we're sitting in this circle and I had this opportunity to respond to her. Yeah. So this is how I responded to her. And again, I just feel like it's, I feel like it's really important for you to hear the two sides of the letter. So this is me replying to her, my little girl that just wrote me a letter. So now I'm writing back to her. And it is really a very cathartic and beautiful exercise to do. And it goes like this. Hi, little Jen. Thanks for letting me know all of that. I'm sorry. Sorry, let me just start that again. I'm sorry I'm so hard on us. I'm sorry I demand so much from us. I'm sorry I only loved half of us. I'm sorry I never allowed us to be all of us. I'm sorry I didn't stand up for us. I've demanded so much from us. I can see how unaccepted you must have felt. You must have felt so alone and abandoned, like you could never do enough, never be enough, like you had to always keep up with everyone else. How exhausted you must have felt. How not good enough you must have felt. How alone and abandoned you must have felt. Like who you are was just not good enough. Like who you always had to be. Like you always had to be more to be loved. I receive you just as you are, sweet, gorgeous child. You are everything. You are all of us. I get you may not trust me at first. I truly understand that you wouldn't. Though I'm going to hold your hand always, so you know you are never separate from me. We are all of us, always. I love you, Jen. So that's, that was a letter written from my inner child to me, and a letter that I then got to write back to her. And, I want to share with you that doing this kind of work doesn't magically fix everything. There's nothing that magically fixes everything. First of all, nothing needs fixing. But second of all, our growth is an exponential and experiential process. It's not a PDF. It's not a book. It's not a podcast. It's a constant coming home, a constant return. Will I abandon my inner child going forward? Yeah, I will. Will I do that consciously? No, it will be an unconscious thing. But it will happen. But knowing her in the way that I know her now, gives me the space to return back to her and go, oh my goodness, I did that thing again. I tried to make us be brilliant so the world would only see us brilliant, so we would be loved. I did that thing again. I forgot that just being me is enough. Me showing up and letting my soul shine is enough. In fact, that's what I'm here to do. That's the gift. That is my gift. Me being me. Yeah. Yeah, I'm definitely feeling really vulnerable and really exposed right now, and as I said, every part of me wants to just delete this because I didn't, it's not the constructed version that I would normally put out there, and not that I do that either. That's kind of not true either. I'd love to hear some thoughts from anybody that that has done this level of work and, has taken the time to allow your inner child to speak to you and to sit there and receive what it is that she wants to tell you. And if it helps, try this letter writing process. It definitely was beautiful for me to do it this way. So I normally do 3 intentional breaths with everybody on these when we do an Empower Hour. And part of me doesn't want to do that today either, so I am going to do it because I just want to get off this live. Like, I'm feeling really from doing the whole thing. Which is why I'm going to do the 3 intentional breaths with you. And again, this is an invitation when you feel that, you feel you just want to run from the room or run from the thing or, not show up or not speak up. Take the hand of your inner child, because it's her that maybe is scared, or maybe it's you, and just pause, take a pause, drop into the moment, breathe, and then move from that energy, move from that connectedness energy, that space that brings all of your parts together into the truth of who you are. Yeah. So 3 intentional breaths. The first breath is to just simply, just go from here to here. As you breathe in and then breathe out, just allow yourself to sink down into your heart space. The second intentional breath is to just connect to your heart, to your higher self, to your inner child, God, source, spirit, whatever feels true for you, and just ask the question, what do I know? And connect to what you know inherently inside of you. See what you see, hear what you hear, feel what you feel. Notice what you notice. And then the third intentional breath is just simply to give gratitude. Give thanks to what you received, what you heard, what you felt, or to anything in your day so far. And these may be the first intentional breaths that you've taken today. So let's begin. Just breathing in together. Deep down into your belly. Just feel your belly filling up. And as you breathe out, just allow your energy, whatever that means to you, to sink down, 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 down into your heart. You might notice your body soften. You might feel yourself just get a little heavier. It might feel like you're sinking down through clouds. And as you're sinking, invite all of you back, all of your energy, wherever you've been today, whoever you've spoken to, social media, wherever. just invite all of your energy, all of your particles, all of your being back into your heart space. Call yourself back. I call myself back from all time, places and spaces, and just notice if you maybe feel a tingling sensation. I generally feel my hands tingle. I sometimes feel some tingling in my belly, in my chest. You know, just simply by extending the invitation. That's the intent. That is the intention. Just calling ourselves back. And let's take that second intentional breath together, breathing in. And as we breathe out, we just invite the question into our heart. What do we know? What do we know? What do I know? And then notice any feelings, any thoughts, any sounds, any visions that may just pop up, and just let them pop up like popcorn popping in a pan. Just popping up, popping up, popping up. No need to decipher anything, no need to analyze anything, no need to understand it. Just notice it like witnessing. Oh, isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting? Oh, that's what I know. Oh, that's what I know. Just being reminded, allowing you to be your remembering. And then taking our third intentional breath together as we just give gratitude for whatever pops up in our vision. Breathing in and breathing out. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And when you're ready, just opening your eyes. And yeah, just giving thanks to your inner child. Yeah, whether you do that as a writing exercise, whether you just do that in a meditation. Yeah. Maybe you just, imagine yourself sitting on the grass somewhere with her or him and just letting her speak to you for a little bit. Yeah. Now we are on the eve of a beautiful big full moon. I did draw a card for myself today, but I'm just going to pop that back in, and I'm just going to draw a collective card for us all, for the group, for this Empower Hour. Take it for what it is for you. Take it for what it means for you. It's just a general message. If it resonates, let it. If it doesn't, let it pass by. Not everything is for us, and what is for us can't miss us. This is really beautiful. So the message for this week, the week ahead, is the Shekinah. The Shekinah, the sacred self. She's in a lot of my oracle decks. She's really just a beautiful message. So she's inviting us to unleash our spirits, to express our gifts, and to dance to the sacred rhythm of life. So, yeah, it's a beautiful message. And look, without even opening the book and just tuning into what I've shared today, yeah, if we just look at the wings, opening our wings. Look how exposed, which is what I've been talking about today. Look at how exposed the center of that beautiful dove is, her soul. She's just allowing her soul to shine, which is exactly what I've been talking about today. When we tune into our inner child, we are reminded of what that light was that we didn't even need to know or understand as children. It just was who we were. This beautiful, brilliant light that shone, that didn't, shut out. We didn't shut ourselves down or try and make ourselves bigger. because it's you know, both and, right? We were all of it. We were all of it. You know, and this is the message for today, I feel, for this week. Yeah, to just tap into your sacred self. You know, tap into who she is. And the message that I'll read to you is, don't feel the need to hold back or dampen your spirit. And we could actually use inner child, given that's what we've been talking about. So don't feel the need to hold back or dampen your inner child. This is a time to celebrate. There is a feeling of dance and joy around you at this time as you fully recognize your splendor. Yeah, the magnificence of your inner child. You are a sacred being who defies gravity every day just by being alive and brings a sense of balance and equality to the world. Yeah. That's that part of us that doesn't need to be anything for anyone. It is just us in our full being, you know, where we're not scared to be too big or too small. We just get to be. Thank you, beautiful people, for really holding me as I shared that today. It felt very vulnerable to do this Empower Hour today. I really didn't want to. But that's also growth, isn't it? Yeah, it's also a beautiful opportunity to grow and expand into our being. Okay, if you catch the replay, please comment replay. And of course, this will go out in my email as well this week. All right, have a beautiful week.